this is something that Sixers fans have been kind of talking about for a little while now. Even before DeAndre Jordan came, Sixer fans were talking about getting our young guys, Paul Reed and Charles Bassey, some more playing time. And they didn't even want us to sign DeAndre Jordan. They wanted Paul Millsap, and they wanted to give these guys some reps. But now that we've signed DeAndre Jordan, obviously he's been getting the backup 5 reps. But someone pointed this stat out, and take it for what it is. But over the last 4 games, DeAndre Jordan has 17 points, 1 steal, 1 block over 64 minutes played. And Paul Reed has 8 points, 3 steals, and 1 block in 6 minutes played. So this is something that this has been going viral in the Sixers community. People have just been retweeting the heck out of this tweet. But Eric, what do you think about those stats, A? And then B, what do you think about kind of giving the younger guys a shot here as we ramp and roll into the playoffs?
I mean, stats are tough because when you look at, especially with reserves, their minutes aren't alike. Their minutes aren't the same. So to compare them in their, if DeAndre's playing his minutes versus, Jokic, I'm just using for example, and Reed's playing against a reserve, they're not the same. So it's tough. You got to be careful when you look at that because they're not playing the same minutes versus the same guys. But I do believe that, I think that if you're going to play those guys in the playoffs, it's important to give them some form of reps. Because I think the playoffs is like we talked about that rotation, but I think it's going to be who they're playing. I mean, if you're playing a team that aren't really playing big and they're trying to spread the court and they're playing shooters, you got to really, try to think about whether DeAndre is going to be the guy. So I just think right now, the way that Doc is playing him, I just think he's committed to sticking with him. And if not, then you go to Millsap and he's going to roll with that with the playoffs. And if not, play Niang or Joel's minutes is going to go up and play maybe Niang at some 4 or 5. And I just don't see it. I just don't think that he'll play those guys in the playoffs. So I don't think so either. To play him now unless they're just kind of resting guys.
Yeah, so I was one of the people who actually liked the Jordan pickup. A lot of people didn't. I was like, hey, maybe he'll play well like the other Laker castoffs and play his best ball here. Unfortunately, he hasn't been. I think the stat I read today was that I think Austin Krell had the stat. Teams are shooting 73.6 around the rim when Jordan's on the floor. 73.6% when Jordan, which is like, wow. And then I looked up and saw that he's actually averaging more turnovers a game than he is blocks and steals combined, which is also pretty brutal too. But I think the dream of Bassey and Reed, you'd see it. You're right. You'd see it now. You'd see signs that he's going to do it. He's not going to go from not giving them minutes to playing them minutes in the playoffs. He didn't even give Maxey that many minutes in the playoffs last year. I think Maxey had like 13 minutes a game in the playoffs. So, and that was someone who showed a lot of flashes. I don't think he's going to go and play Reed or Bassey, DeAndre Jordan minutes. The best we could hope for is, small ball and playing Millsap, but I don't think fans want to hear that either. But I actually wouldn't mind that. I think Millsap can be okay against the smaller lineups. I'd rather have him in there because he can run out and close out, stretch 5s. He can still play tough underneath, and he's fresh. I mean, he's got legs. Yeah, it's a shame, but we're probably looking at next year for maybe Bassey or Reed to get more of those backup big minutes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and plus with the going into next year with our cap situation, kind of the question marks there, we might have to rely on some of these young guys next year. And Millsap, Paul Reed or Bassey. We didn't know who Claxton was in Brooklyn, but with those big money guys going there, we had to hear about Claxton. He became a big guy for them. And so Paul Reed or Bassey could be the Claxton for us going forward.
And now look, Claxton's playing more minutes than all the guys they signed in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
He's playing more than, Blake can't even see the floor anymore on that team.